Let's talk about the eyeshadow palettes that are in my top drawer. Now technically it's not the top drawer, it is third one down, but it's just because of the way the Alex drawers are. And I do periodically switch out some of the palettes, but there are some palettes that definitely stay constantly and do not get switched out. And also I do put some newer palettes in there to further keep trying out. I also have some highlighters that I won't really use for the face, but I think they make great eyeshadows, so those are in here so let's get right into it. So I do have two drawers that are above this one, and I tend to put more liquid eyeshadows, eyeshadow sticks, anything that is also kind of like in a single compact. However, I honestly always forget to open those drawers, so I had to make sure these are in my top drawer. This way I will make sure that I don't forget about them and I get my use out of them. So we have a bunch of highlighters essentially. I have this one-off just like matte white. I think it's from Sugarpill. It's Taco, and it's just a really nice matte white, and it's a huge pan, so I just have it in this Makeup Geek compact to just have it protected. So it's really just in there to assist. And then I of course have these two highlighters from Beaute bar. This is the Skin of a Killer highlighter, and then the Morally Gray highlighter. And these just make really beautiful eyeshadows. Top tier because they are just so sparkly. I don't want to start swatching like everything because I did a video on this collection. So I do have this one. I mean, it's just a beautiful kind of icy, more of an icy pink, a little bit silvery. And then Skin of a Killer is just the most perfect topper. I also have this highlighter from Moira called It's Glam. And this one does have a little bit of a wet feeling to it. So it's not really something you want to put on too much. It's more of like a tap on the lid. But it has just a little bit of that kind of taupey base in there. So, and it's got a silvery reflect, and it's really stunning, but definitely not for full opacity because it will for sure crease. But it's not really something I'm gonna be using on the cheeks too much. I also have the other version of it that is with my cheek products. Then I have this Wet n Wild Chameleon Chrome. This is the shade Not Sure what shade it is. It's the blue one. There's also a green one which should be in here, and this is just so stunning. I'm not gonna use this on the cheeks, but it is the most ethereal sheen sparkle. It's definitely very sparkly, but in a really smooth, refined way. Just absolutely stunning. Looks so wet looking, and it really beautiful. It doesn't accentuate skin texture, and it's just so ethereal. Top tier. I really hope that they do more things like this, whether that's more highlighters, but I would prefer some eyeshadow palettes that have metallic shimmers in there like that. I think that would be really smart of them. Then I have another one-off. This is the Breaking Dawn Glam Light highlighter, and I would definitely wear this one on the cheeks. But it does have kind of slightly multicolor flecks throughout it. It is so wet looking, so beautiful. It's stunning on the lids. I do want to do a wet look eyeshadow video, so stay tuned for that. I will definitely be featuring not just eyeshadows. And then these are all Dieverune Cosmetics highlighters that I use as eyeshadows because they do have like multicolor flecks in them, and they're so stunning. This is Rainbow. I actually just wore this the other day, and it was just everything. It's so stunning. I have close-up detail swatches of all of these shades on my channel, so check that out. I'm not gonna swatch all of them, but this one's like a really beautiful, more like bright gold with green flecks throughout it. I'm not sure if it's translating from this far away, but it is so beautiful. These are just so dimensional, really fun. I do an eyeshadow wing and then I throw this on the lid and love it. Next three products are the glitter pucks. I did buy the Dopamine Sparkle, the original shade, but I was gifted the other two shades. I thought that there was one more. Isn't there one more shade? I feel like there's a Champagne Glimmer Pop and then Cyber Diamond. I thought that there was one more. Maybe I'm just misremembering, but these are so stunning. So stunning. Definitely recommend a tacky primer if you have hooded oily lids. And they do have a cooling feeling, which kind of dissipates. I personally do not care for a cooling feeling. It's just like, okay, great, now what? Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's not going to remove my under eye bags because I'm not putting it there. It's like, what is it accomplishing besides feeling wet? Also, if anything feels wet for too long on my lids, then I'm just thinking that it's creasing. And so overall, don't really care for that personally, but they are so sparkly. I've actually never swatched these on my channel, so let me swatch these. So this is one of the newer shades. This is like, if you, I mean, this is like a mirror basically. So stunning. And you can definitely share it out. I'm just kind of swatching it a little heavy. They are literally the shiny. I just wish these were smaller. There is no reason for these to be this big in this much of a jar. And look at how much I still have left on my fingers. It's crazy. So like you could just get like a silvery wash of a sparkle there like that. But yeah, I just wish these were smaller so they would be less money and they were in a pressed 26mm pan or something, because they are absolutely exquisite, but just really expensive because you're getting so much product. So moving on to eyeshadow palettes, I have the Mini Charms from Beauty Bay 9-color palette. I did a dedicated video on this one, and I have to say this is spectacular. I think it was like $12. I've seen it on sale. I was really hoping they would do more variations of this. It is just such a beautiful, again, they have like slightly more of like a really PC, sparkly type of texture. Some of them are a little bit more opaque than others. Some of them are a little bit more sheer and are a little bit more shiny, like specifically like these two shades, for example. And then this shade right here is not like as PC, so I'm just gonna show them like on the, you can kind of see the difference there a little bit between them. This one's more opaque, and this one, these sparkle particles are just kind of a little bit larger and so beautiful. And it's nice and small and compact, so it's just perfect to have on hand. Except I have the Charlotte Tilbury, for some reason it's really hard for me to pronounce, palette. This is super natural and this is like a cooler tone. I have also the greenish one. I do definitely prefer this one just overall because we have two extra ultra sparkly shimmers and then one kind of in between, like a shiny shimmer. Definitely not quite a satin, but the green palette felt a little less balanced. So I do like to have this on hand because mostly I really love the shimmers, and I do like to just like dip into the mattes. I think it's a nice balance of mattes. Except we have another mainstream palette. This is a Tarte palette. This is called Bejeweled. It came with two other palettes. One of them was warm tones, and then the other one was like mauve-y pinks, I think. And this is the only one that I did end up trying out, and I actually was really impressed. I really hope that they do something like this for this holiday season. And the three of them were $55, which might seem like a lot, but for three beautiful palettes, and I mean these shimmers, I'm just gonna swatch all of these. I was really impressed, especially with this one. It's really ultra shiny. They do have a little bit of thickness to them, but they are just, this one's a little bit less shiny, but I was just very impressed for more of a mainstream brand to launch something like this with like a little bit more of punchy shimmers. Is definitely a little bit more rare, and I really like the different tones in here because this one's like a cooler tone brown, this is like a slightly neutral, slightly pink leaning, and then a deepening up brown. So I felt like it was a really nice, well done palette, and it feels actually really nice and sturdy. It doesn't feel really cheap, and of course really like this packaging. Is really nice. Except is one of the first Glaminatrix palettes that are in this drawer because I love me some Glaminatrix cosmetics. This is Elegant Eyes. This is the neutral palette, and these shimmers are so stunning. I just posted a palette ranking video of 17 different Glaminatrix cosmetics eyeshadow palettes that I've tried, so check that out if you're interested. So I believe I swatched some of the shimmers in that one, so I love that one. And then while I'm on the topic of Glaminatrix cosmetics, I also have the Bonfire palette because it is a perfect fall palette. Just have to have it in here. I did talk about this palette a little bit more in depth in that video, so I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I do really enjoy that one. I also love this one, the Grounded palette. Again, perfect tones for fall. Shimmer's beautiful, really sparkly and shiny, and have a really nice variety of being either sheer or a little bit more opaque. And then of course I have the Burley Basic palette. I don't want to give away which palette was in which position, but if you watched a video, you know that this makes sense. You know that that's why these are in my top drawer, and I just love this palette. It's so easy to use, very intuitive, and I love all the tones. Definitely, I would actually say this is a little bit fall leaning as well, but it's like neutral fall leaning, and I love the iridescent row, like cannot get enough of that. And then the last Glaminatrix palette is the Timeless Tones palette. Love this one. Such a stunning palette. Really just super beautiful. I feel like this one's almost like slightly more colorful, but not quite, because we do have the blues and then the kind of teals and then the green. So it's got a little bit more punch to it. It is so beautiful. And again, I love the shimmers so much. Stunning shimmers. Next up, I have two Blend Bunny palettes. This is the All Done Up palette, and I mean, this is just such a go-to. I love this color story. So beautiful. Again, very intuitive to use because you can use the columns. These shimmers are so sparkly, really beautiful. Have a dedicated video video on this one. Definitely something that I remember to reach for, even though this is quite a bit of an older palette. I just feel like I need to have it on hand. And then the Longing palette, the moment this came out that this was going to be my top drawer palette, not only do I love the Blend Money matte formula, and their shimmers have definitely been stepped up quite a bit, but I also love this color story. Also a little bit more grungy, heading into fall and winter for sure. And I just love the tones in here. I love the plums, the teals, the turquoise, the greens, and then the cooler tone browns. Again, really easy to use when I just woke up and I'm getting ready for work. I don't really want to do too much. So then next I have some Bella Beaute bar palettes. Of course, we have the Coalescence palette, which is in collaboration with Napur, and this is such a beautiful, well thought out color story. There is so many different variations of looks you can do, some easy one and done looks. I love that she included a satin in here, some more sparkly topper shades, a little bit more opaque shades, but overall like really just easy layerable types of shades, and you can do some monochromatic looks as well. So love that there is so much variety. The other Bella Beaute bar palettes I have is the Unoriginal Nude. So this is like a full neutral palette, which I'm so happy that they came out with a fully neutral palette. Again, I have a dedicated video with swatches. Love the shimmers in here, especially Token Shimmer 1, 2, and Oblivious. These are just stunners. Really like the balance of the different tones in here. Just really user friendly. I feel like that's the theme here, is like, is this easy for me to not only formulation wise, I know I can rely on these mattes to perform, but also color story wise, is it something I can just easily, quickly reach for and get a cohesive look. So next is the Smoky Glam. So we've got the reds, pinks, some cooler tone browns, and so many beautiful sparkly shiny shimmers. I think some of these were a little bit on the squishy side, so I did have to take a tissue and just press out a little bit of that excess oil. Platinum is just next level. I love these kinds of shades. It has multicolor flecks throughout it, but it's sheer, look at that sparkle. It is truly such a stunner. I also have the two Makeup by Mario palettes. I'm currently trying to resist the newest one that just came out. It is a green palette. I'm really trying to resist, but I just feel like some of the mattes look like they're very similar to like probably these kinds of mattes, but these are both really beautiful palettes. I love the shimmers. I especially love some of the shimmers that are a little bit more like ethereal, sparkly. Like these ones, they just feel like silky, silky smooth. Super easy to use. A little bit more topper-like and sheer. I feel like you can't really even see anything, but they're so sparkly and beautiful, and I really like the balance of the color stories of both of these. I feel like if anything, this one could have had a little bit less of some of the lighter matte. Next up, I have all of my Viseart eyeshadows. Now these are the eyeshadows that do not leave this top drawer. If you've seen my video on my top 3 most favorite formulas, you know. And I pretty much have almost all of them here. Some of them are in like the older packaging, in like not really older, not the oldest packaging, but this kind of packaging. They have changed it now to this, which I don't know how I feel about that personally. I think I prefer this one. So I think there's 1 or 2, I believe there's like 1 or 2 that are full size, but I love their formula so much, and I really like some of the more grungier, darker tones that they have in some of these palettes. This one is called the Cool Mattes 2, and then I believe this is Cool Mattes 1 over here. And I mean, I just love their mattes so much again. And also these are really fun to build BYOPs with my Clionadh shadows because they do fit in here. And then we have the Warm Neutral Mattes, Editorial Brights, the, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking, Dark Mattes, and then what is this one? I don't remember actually. Neutral Mattes Milieu. I have one more. It's like the bigger palette. So yeah, these do not leave this drawer. These stay. These are just, I reach for these constantly as well. This is the other Viseart palette I was talking about. So this is the Grande Pro Volume 1, and it just, you go from light to dark. You have some brighter shades in here as well. Again, just love this formula so much, so that's why I have so many of them. And also like BYOPs are just top tier with these. Next up, of course, I have my Light Scatters palette, my collaboration with Clionadh Cosmetics that came out last year in November. And there are no shades in here because currently I have them actually organized by color with the rest of my entire Clionadh collection. I'm getting ready, I'm ramping up to do a video where I'm swatching all of the Clionadh eyeshadows, the stained glass collection, as well as the round pans from the palettes and some single round pans as well. I don't have all of their round pans, but I do have, I think, like 5 or 6 of them or something like that. So stay tuned for that video because it is going to be quite an undertaking. I probably have over 200 shades to swatch. So again, stay tuned for that. But of course, this is my baby and it has to stay in the top drawer. And then moving on, I have some Unearthly palettes. So I have these two, and then I of course also have the Sorceress Smoke. Sorceress Smoke was like an immediate top drawer palette. I just love this color story. I love the vibes. I really thoroughly enjoy their formula as well, not just shimmers but the mattes as well. So this one, I love the greens. I love the grungy tones, and then the salmon pink is like a little bit more of a pop, and then the shimmers are so spectacular. I believe I do have a dedicated video on this one, but I mean, these are just so pretty. I love these shimmers. I mean, look at them. So beautiful, and a lot of them have different multicolor flecks throughout them, which is again something I just absolutely cannot get enough of. And then these are newer, slightly newer, definitely newer than the Sorcerer's Smoke, and this is the Shadowed Petal, and then the Murky Meadow. I did do a video where I featured both of these, and I think these are just really nice color stories. Mauve color story, and then this is more of like a grungy green, brown, warm, pukey oranges, etc., with a pop of a neon yellow that has slight like green tint to it. So I think these are super beautiful, and I like to keep them in my top drawer because they are definitely very easy to use. So then I have like this kind of one-off, and this is the Bratz Times Beauty Creations collaboration Keep On Playing Baked Highlighter palette. Now this is here because I'm using this as eyeshadows. These are so beautiful. I think this is like a $12, maybe $14 palette, and these are just something else. I cannot believe how affordable these are. Like, they're literally so sparkly, so ethereal, really, really stunning kinds of shades. And I love that they're baked. I just feel like something about that makes them just next level. Something about baked eyeshadows, they're just like a little bit different. They're like, think a little bit more like Pat McGrath. Not quite exactly like Pat McGrath, but definitely reminiscent. At this price tag, super wet looking, beautiful, shiny. So this is just like kind of like a one-off. I believe I bought this on sale from the TikTok shop, and I got it for even less. I just couldn't believe it. Really underrated. Next I have some Dieverune Cosmetics palettes. Of course I have to have my Dewdrops and Dewdrops too. I love these. Perfect topper little companion palettes. Love that there's just 6 pans in here, and they're just chock full of shifty, beautiful, shiny, shimmery, topper-like, some more opaque. Dew is literally a legend. It is so stunning. I love it so much. And then I love me Droplet as well because it has multicolor flecks in it. And then also Splish is just like a little bit more silvery, really, really beautiful topper shades. Something I just really gravitate towards that I just cannot get enough. And then Magnetic Mineralia. I can just never pronounce that. And this is in collaboration with Andromeda. And this is just, this color story is chef's kiss. I love it. Every time I look at it, I'm like, immediately I need to do some more looks with this. It just really entices me and makes me want to create looks with it. I think it's a really beautiful balance. I really love the pops of these 2 shades in here. And then the shimmers, again, spectacular, beautiful. Give me 14 of them. So I love this, and I knew immediately this is gonna go in my top shelf palettes. And then the Black Cherry Simply Posh palette. This is a newer palette, so I'm still testing it out. So that's why I have it in this drawer, but it's also more of like a neutral leaning with some beautiful shimmers. So that's also why it's in here. Again, definitely more of a color story that I reach for on a day-to-day basis. I have 2 more Blend Bunny palettes. So this first one is actually the Water Activated Liner palette, which is in collaboration with Lin's. And I just have this here because otherwise I'm going to forget about it and never use it. So, and I also don't really have any other water activated liners, or if I do and they're like in separate pans in one of those other 2 drawers that are above this, I just forget about it. So this one stays here so that I remember it and I can use it, and it's right there. I love that it has all the colors, and I don't feel like I need any more water activated liners. And then of course I have the Sea of Stars palette in collaboration with Ellis. This is such a beautiful all shimmer palette. We have the magnetic pans, they're the smaller pans, and these are just so beautiful. I have a dedicated video on this, and you can see all the detail swatches in there, but I just love the tones, the colors in here. So stunning. Definitely perfect little BYOP palette as well, especially now that Blend Bunny has made most of their palettes magnetic. Next up I have these 2 hand dash palettes, and I'm actually, now that I'm looking at these, now that I'm thinking about them, I actually don't really reach for these anymore. I was on like a real kick when these first came out, and I had them. This one came out before this one, and then I was just like, I really like this one, and I literally brought this traveling with me. And now I just do not remember to use these. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's partially because I'm just like missing, even if I dip in between, like, I don't know if it really gives me what I, in theory, think it should give me. So actually I think I'm going to remove these from my top drawer. Yeah, I think I will. These might be on the chopping block for getting to clutter, because I really do not reach for these. I also don't love that they are just like a paper. I feel like you can kind of start to see that they're getting a little dirty and a little dinged up, and not that that's like a huge deal, but definitely not like something I prefer my palettes to be made out of. And then the last 4 palettes I have are from Adept Cosmetics in here, and these have some of my favorite color stories from them, as well as shimmers, because they have definitely stepped up their game with the shimmers in terms of them not really being squishy anymore. This is the Makeup Remastered palette, and I really like the tone variations and the shimmers in here. There's some chunkier shimmers though, for sure, and some extra sparkly that I would definitely recommend a tacky primer. Overall, I would definitely recommend a tacky primer, but these are really beautiful. But I do really like this color story. I feel like this color story makes just like a lot of sense to me. And then the EB East palette, which is one of the, I think this is actually their newest palette at the time that I'm filming this. Love the grungy tones in here, like these right here. And then of course, beautiful sparkly shimmers, some hollows as well. Lots of special shimmers in the Adept palettes. And I really like their more ethereal, drier formula that they have been having. And then especially like all of these are that beautiful, sparkly formula, some a little bit more sheer. You can definitely sheer some of them. So I really have these because I think they're really easy to just create looks with. And of course, Flying Fiddles. I do have a palette ranking, and now I don't remember what palette was #1, but it was probably this one. Yeah, I love the shimmers in here. I love the color story in here. I think this is a really nice pop of teal, and then I love the warmer tone brown and the dark burgundy. So those are all of the eyeshadow products that I have in my top drawer. Let me know in the comments below what your most reach for eyeshadows are, whether those are singles, highlighters, eyeshadow palettes, eyeshadow sticks, etc. are. I hope this video was fun. Maybe I'll do it every like 6 months or so as I'm switching some of these out so you can see. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. And that's everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.